Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Healing Sleep Stories, where you can listen to the sound of my voice. And tonight, we are letting go. The lights are low, your phone is finally out of reach. You hear the soft whirl of a fan, maybe even the creak of your bed as you shift one last time. Outside, the world is still buzzing. Cars hum past, minds spiral, screens glow. But not here, not anymore, because here you're about to fall, softly, deeply, like a feather drifting through your own sleep-filled sky. And you probably won't survive this wakefulness much longer. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what I do here. Let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You begin with the breath. Not a fancy breath, not a yoga pose or something you saw on a cold plunge influencer's page. Just your breath, right now, in and out. It's a little uneven, a little stubborn, but as your head melts into the pillow, something releases. You realize you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to perfect sleep. You just have to arrive, and you already have. Your shoulders loosen their grip, your jaw drops slightly. Your legs, once plotting a late-night grocery run, now surrender to gravity like fainting goats. Yes, that's a real thing. And now, just like them, you're finally safe enough to flop. With each exhale, you're letting go of today's noise. The weird email thread, that awkward moment you think people noticed but probably didn't. And yes, the crumbs in your bed that might have been crackers, or dreams, or existential dread. Who can tell anymore? The room becomes soft around you. Even time seems less important. You walk, float through a soft corridor of sleep. Imagine you're wrapped in moonlight. That's right. It's warm. It's real. It smells like lavender and some other scent you forgot you loved, like old books or sandalwood or the neck of someone safe. The corridor opens. Before you is a spiral ramp, not stairs, because who wants to lift their feet right now? This ramp glides downward, winding gently, with railings of braided silk, illuminated by soft, pulsing light, like your own breath visualized. And as you descend, something ancient hums beneath your thoughts. Long before sleep apps and blackout curtains, ancient Egyptians worshipped a goddess of sleep, Renenutet. She protected dreams and ensured safe passage through the underworld of slumber. They even believed dreams held divine messages, so technically, that weird dream you had about flying a bus to Venus could have been sacred. In fact, wealthy Egyptians had special beds carved with lion legs and snake symbols, because apparently adding more predators to your nap space was peak relaxation. The theory? Symbolic power kept nightmares away. Historians still argue whether the embedded hieroglyphs were functional sleep aids or just decoration, but the belief in sacred sleep ran deep. You pause at the first landing. There's a small table with a warm drink. No caffeine, just something golden and slightly sweet. It might be honey and chamomile, or something older, brewed from memory. You drink, and a sense of calm settles over your chest like a soft weight. You press onward. With every turn of the spiral, your thoughts begin to space out. They're not gone, but they're background extras now. Wandering, waving, vanishing. You think, why do escalators exist, but sleepalators don't? Then you realize this is one. The light begins to shift. You see your own footprints glowing slightly behind you, trailing memory, leftover tension, a breadcrumb path you'll never need again. And soon, you reach the bottom. A vast room stretches out, covered in plush moss. And beneath a sky not made of stars, but slow-moving galaxies, all above you, rotating like mobile toys in a cradle, you lie down in the center. The moss sighs beneath you, wrapping you in green energy. You don't move. You don't need to, because your body remembers this stillness, this unburdening. A memory flashes, childhood naps, the smell of detergent, a half-warm blanket, someone humming in another room. That feeling when you had nothing to fix, nothing to chase. Sleep came like a friend back then, and here it does again. Even your skin begins to soften, muscles unlace from bone, tension secretly stored in elbows, in knees, in earlobes of all places, unwinds like a ball of yarn. You hear a sound in the distance, a slow rhythm, like a heartbeat in the earth, or the flapping of wings, or maybe a lullaby. Centuries ago, lullabies weren't just sweet songs, they were protection spells. In some Slavic cultures, mothers sang rhymes that named and banished nighttime spirits, each verse like a V, Robelo's shield around the crib. There's even a Babylonian lullaby carved into clay tablets from 5,000 years ago. The lyrics? Something like, "Sleep, oh sleep, why have you not come?" Relatable. You hum a version of it now, in your mind. A low, toneless tune that circles and calms. Then suddenly, you feel your name, not spoken aloud, but recognized by the moss, the galaxies, the gentle hush of something watching, not threatening, just ancient, curious. It's the knowing that you are here, fully, and that nothing else is required. Sleep isn't a switch, it's a path, and right now, you're further along than you realize. Remember that breath? It's thinner now, almost silent, like a feather. You've nearly drifted past the veil of waking, but not quite. We still have farther to go. One last thing before we leave this space. You smile. Somewhere in the back of your mind, a crocodile is rubbing sunscreen on its snout. It's absurd, but that's how you know you're close. The conscious mind begins to lose its grip and control. This is the edge, and you're ready to step through, not with effort, not with force, just by allowing. You let go and begin the next descent. Descend into softness, not through a tunnel, not through stairs or ramps this time. You're simply drifting. The air grows thicker in the most comforting way, like warm fog that hugs you. Every thought that tries to tag along, whether it's that email you forgot to reply to, or that time you said, "You too," when the waiter said, "Enjoy your meal," starts to fade like chalk in rain. You're in the mind detachment chamber now. That's not its official name, of course. There's no sign, no velvet rope, but you feel it, a shift, a kind of low hum that quiets even your inner monologue. Yes, even the sarcastic voice that won't stop pointing out your awkward moments from middle school. This is the place where overthinking goes to nap. You float along a pathway made entirely of memory threads. Delicate silver strands that shimmer as you pass over them. Some twitch, trying to activate a thought. You let them, and then you let them go. Each strand holds a past idea. The lyrics to that song from a toothpaste commercial. Some heavier. Regrets that like to sneak in right when you're trying to rest. But here, in this chamber, you don't have to wrestle them. You just watch. Like clouds, they drift, you drift. Nobody's trying too hard anymore. You notice something strange ahead, a floating glass orb. Inside, a flickering image, a baby being rocked in a cradle. Someone singing softly. You lean closer. It's a lullaby again, but not one you know. Lullabies, it turns out, are nearly universal. Across nearly every culture in human history, people have sung their little ones to sleep. In Japan, the Edo period lullaby, Edo Komori Yuta, promised children their mother would return after work. In Nigeria, lullabies were sometimes used to warn mischievous spirits to stay away from the child. Sleep wasn't just peaceful, it was sacred and a little dangerous. Historians still argue whether lullabies were primarily for babies or to calm the parents who had to raise them. As you watch the orb, you feel your own breathing sync with the motion, rocking, swaying, floating. Your chest rises, then falls, again. The thoughts that once shouted now barely whisper. You continue forward. The pathway widens into a massive circular room. Pillows float through the air, some shaped like stars, others like silly animals. One looks suspiciously like a napping sloth holding a tiny cup of cocoa. You nod at him. Respect. That sloth gets it. You lie back onto a cloud, not metaphorically. It's literal now. Light as mist, cool at the edges, warm underneath. It conforms to you like a dream foam mattress designed by actual angels with PhDs in Nepology. Above you, shapes begin to form. Your thoughts, once rapid-fire headlines, are now blurry sketches. You see them trying to organize. To-do list. Guilt over not doing the to-do list. Plan for next week's version of you to become a completely new person who eats vegetables and wakes up at 5 a.m. But these shapes collapse into sand as you exhale. They tumble, reassemble into something gentler, a meadow, a lake, a single tree glowing gold from within. The subconscious begins to offer suggestions now, not with words, with images. You're invited to walk inside your own mind, but not the noisy front room with the clutter and pop-up ads. No, you're deeper now, somewhere quiet, beautiful, designed by you but forgotten until now. You step into that golden tree. Inside is a small library. The books, thoughts never fully formed, ideas you once had in the shower, dreams you meant to write down. You gently touch the spines. No pressure to remember, just presence. A nearby librarian nods at you. She's a turtle in spectacles. Of course she is. She hands you a single scroll. You open it. It reads, "You don't have to be amazing to rest. You don't have to earn it. You just get to be." Your fingers relax. The scroll rolls itself shut. You hand it back to the turtle. She gives you a cookie. It tastes like childhood and vanilla and something you once loved that you can't name anymore. The lights in the room dim. Somewhere, faintly, you hear the voice of Diogenes, ancient Greek philosopher and legendary sleep under the stars kind of guy. He once napped in a giant ceramic jar. Why? Because he believed society made things too complicated. He needed nothing but sun, ground, and sleep. According to the legend, when Alexander the Great visited him and asked if he could do anything for him, Diogenes replied, "Yes, step out of my sunlight." Not a man burdened by overthinking, clearly. You smile. Because in this moment, you are also unburdened. You're not trying to solve anything. You're not waiting for enough. You are you. Tired. Beautifully so. One last chamber opens before you. Inside is a strange installation, a swirling pool of ink. Thoughts flow into it, but as soon as they touch the surface, they dissolve into light. You're welcome to contribute. So you do. You gently place a small thought onto the surface. I should be doing more. It flickers, then melts, gone, released. You try another. I'll mess it up. Melt, gone, released. Then, I'm too much. Melt, gone, released. The pool glows. Lighter now. Brighter, reflecting you, but softer. The version of you that exists without pressure, without expectation. Still you, still whole. And as you turn away from the ink, you realize you've stopped trying, not in a hopeless way, but in the most peaceful way possible. Trying was never needed here, only being. You walk, float, glide into the next passage. The air cooler now, sleepier, like your whole body is being whispered to by the universe itself. You've released enough thoughts for now. You've earned nothing, and yet you've received everything. Sleep pulls at you gently, like a friend who says, "Come on, it's time." And you go. You awaken, only not really. Your body remains still, heavy in all the right ways. But your mind, it has wandered into a new place. A garden, the sleep garden of restoration, to be exact. You didn't plan to come here, but then again, you didn't plan to think about that one cringy thing from 9th grade every night for the past decade either. And yet, here we are. This place is different though. It feels designed for you. Not like a luxury spa with soothing dolphin noises and an aggressively friendly receptionist named Karen. More like the dream version of nature. You step barefoot onto soft soil. It molds to your steps like memory foam. Above you, the sky is indigo velvet, pierced with slow-moving stars that glow in rhythm with your heartbeat. Every tree you pass shimmers, some silver, some green, some the exact shade of calm. Their leaves gently hum, a lullaby in the language of wind. A small path guides you deeper. With every step, you feel a part of you return. Not the part that schedules meetings or rereads texts for tone. No, the ancient part. The part that used to lie on grass and name clouds. The part that believed the moon followed your car home at night. This garden isn't just fantasy. It's a memory of every safe place you've ever known, compressed into one space and draped in dream logic. You come across a pond, the surface still but glittering. You lean in and see your reflection, but not as you are tonight. You see yourself as calm, glowing, not fake Instagram glow, but soul-level luminescence. You touch the water and it ripples, not outward, but inward, like the water is absorbing your presence, accepting it. And then, out of nowhere, a faint sound. Latin. You turn to see a Roman emperor reclining under an olive tree. He waves lazily. He's barefoot too, toga slightly rumpled. Next to him, scrolls, dozens, all titled How to Sleep Like a God. Yes, you're dreaming, but you're also learning. You approach him, and he speaks. Somnus est sacrum. Sleep is sacred. Historians still argue whether Roman elites used sleep as a spiritual reset or merely as a status symbol. But some texts describe elite Romans spending hours reclining in dark rooms with perfumed oils, gentle harps, and guided dreams. A precursor to your sleep app, if you think about it, minus the Bluetooth headphones. The Emperor gestures to a nearby tree. It glows faintly golden. You walk over and place your palm on its bark. Immediately, you feel your nervous system slow. The bark is warm, pulsing like a heartbeat. It whispers memories back to you, not the sharp ones, but the soft ones. The smell of rain on the first day of school. The texture of your favorite blanket as a child. That one afternoon you forgot what stress felt like. And just when you think this tree has given you everything, it gives you roots. Not literal ones, because that would be weird, but energetic. You feel tethered, not stuck, but grounded, supported, like the earth itself is saying, go ahead, fall. You lead down beneath the tree. Its shade drapes across you like a silk comforter. You exhale, and the air tastes like something pure. Maybe basil, maybe forgiveness. Above you, golden pollen swirls in slow spirals, never touching you, just dancing. A rhythm older than logic, older than worry. A fox trots by. He nods once. He's wearing a tiny nightcap. You don't question it, because in dreams, some truths are told in whimsy. You close your eyes. In this state, neither fully asleep nor awake, your body begins to heal. Not like hospital healing, like the kind your grandmother believed in. Tea, quiet, and time. Here, your cells take notes from the stars. Here, your breath is no longer just oxygen, it's renewal. Somewhere distant, you hear the rustle of vines. They're spelling something, a message just for you. It reads, "You are not behind. You are exactly where healing begins." You smile, and then, without effort, the garden begins to shift, not vanish, just evolve. You're floating again, back through the air, back toward the roots, the soil, the parts of you that forgot they were allowed to rest. Below you, meadows turn into memories, not sharp ones, just vibes. A walk that mattered, a hug that lasted, a song you forgot you knew all the words to. And above you, the moon, still following you, still faithful. Before you drift further, one last figure appears on the path. She's cloaked in moss. Her eyes are galaxies. Her voice is barely audible, but you feel it in your ribs. Sleep is not the opposite of doing. It's the beginning. She places something in your hand, a single seed. You tuck it behind your ear like a child does with a daisy. And then you fall, not in danger, in trust. Because this garden, it doesn't end, it only deepens. And you're going with it. You fall, not down, but through softness, through memory, through the thin gauze between waking and dreaming. It's like plunging into a pool made of velvet. There's no splash, no cold shock, just a gentle glide into deeper waters. Welcome to the subconscious deep dive, a space without doors, no boundaries, only sensation. You're not falling anymore. You're floating, weightless in a sea the color of moonlight. It surrounds you, above and below. There's no direction here, no up or down, only inward. Somewhere within this velvet water, thoughts drift like fish. You recognize a few. That anxious spiral about your grocery list, it swims by, lazy and harmless now. A childhood memory, distorted but sweet, circles you once, then disappears into a cloud of glowing bubbles. You realize your mind has become an aquarium of meaning, a place of curiosity, not judgment. You exhale, and the water ripples with light. In the distance, a sound emerges, not music exactly, more like a distant chant. Monks, maybe, or astronauts, or time itself, humming. And then, something ancient appears. A glowing, translucent staircase rises from the sea floor. But instead of steps, each platform is a memory. Not the loud kind, not the "you messed that up" kind. The quiet ones, the nearly forgotten ones. One step is the moment you first felt proud of yourself. Another is the time you laughed so hard your body forgot how to breathe. Another, still, is the first time someone held your hand and didn't let go too soon. You ascend, and each memory replays, not in words, but in feeling, like an emotional slideshow at the speed of trust. And as you rise, you hear a voice, a whisper that doesn't come from the staircase, or the water, or even the universe. It comes from you. It says, "I am not broken, I am becoming." Suddenly, you're back in the sea. Only now it has changed. It's full of stars. Constellations swirl around you. Some resemble animals. Some resemble dreams. One definitely looks like a cat using a laptop. You nod. The subconscious has a sense of humor. You reach out and touch a glowing orb, and in that moment, you feel a debate. Yes, a literal scholarly debate. Right here in your dreamlike trance. It's about whether the subconscious is always working for you, or if sometimes it's just organizing the weirdest drawer in your mind. You know, the one filled with odd facts, unfinished thoughts, and that one random dance move you might have invented in 6th grade. Psychologists argue this constantly. Freud believed your subconscious was a vault for hidden desire. Jung thought it was a collective library, connecting all of humanity. Meanwhile, your subconscious just summoned a goat on a unicycle. So, who's to say? You laugh. Or maybe your soul laughs, and the water around you bubbles with joy. A small rowboat appears beside you. In it, a quiet guide, dressed in robes made of stardust, holding a paddle shaped like a feather. No words are spoken. You step in, and the journey continues. The boat glides effortlessly through the cosmic sea. You pass dream fragments, people you haven't thought of in years, old teachers, imaginary friends, versions of yourself you abandoned when the world told you to grow up. They wave. You wave back. The boat slows near a floating island. It looks like your childhood bedroom, but not exactly. It's upgraded, softer. The monsters under the bed, they're gone. Or maybe they've retired and now make cookies in the kitchen. You step out of the boat and lie down on the floor, not because you're tired, but because the ground here remembers how to hold you. Like you're meant to be here. You close your eyes within your dream, and now you're 2 layers deep. Somewhere, you hear an echo of Tibetan monks discussing lucid dreaming. They believed dreams were a sacred arena, a place to practice life, release karma, even solve spiritual equations. Modern scientists, they still argue whether dreams are nonsense, memory sorting, or psychic portals. Meanwhile, you're cuddling a pillow made of moonbeam silk. So again, who's to say? The air in this inner dream begins to shift. A scent fills the space. Jasmine, memory, safety. You feel your inner dialogue pause. The narrator in your head sets down the mic. The internal to-do list curls up in a hammock. This is the deepest part of the dive, where nothing is required, where identity loosens and being becomes enough. Even the concept of you becomes soft. You are no longer the character. You are the feeling of safety, the sensation of peace. One final image appears before you, a library of your dreams, labeled, cataloged, not by logic, but by longing. You see a shelf labeled, Dreams I Haven't Dreamed Yet. You smile because you know tonight you will. And just before the room dissolves into light, you see something carved into the floor. You were always more than your mind. The words fade, and you begin to rise, slowly, like mist returning to the clouds. You are not awake, but you are not asleep either. You are aligned, and the boat, it's waiting again. This time, it sails toward the dreamsmith. The boat doesn't sail over water this time. It glides across a sky made of silk, midnight blue with threads of silver and rose gold. You sit inside, relaxed, eyes barely open, as the dream sea below becomes the dream sky above. Where are you headed? To the place all dreams come from. The dreamsmith's workshop, where thoughts are melted down, where affirmations are forged, and where your best sleep yet is handcrafted. the boat slows. It doesn't dock, it simply stops moving, as if the air has turned to velvet and gently caught it in a giant pillow. You step off onto a platform of smooth stone warmed by moonlight. Everything glows here, not with intensity, but with a hush, like even light has learned to whisper. Before you is a large door, arched, carved with patterns that shift as you look at them. One moment they resemble vines. Next moment, neural pathways. Next, a sleepy cat. Because why not? The door opens without sound. Inside, silence. Not emptiness, just potential. T. His is where your dreams are made. Custom stitched by a dreamsmith with stardust on their collar and soot under their fingernails. You catch a glimpse of them now, tall, soft-eyed, hands always moving, shaping thought like clay. They nod. No speech, no need. You're known here. The room is massive, but not cold. Tools hang along the walls, tuning forks for emotional tones, brushes for painting memory textures, small bottles labeled with things like confidence, curiosity, and that feeling when you finally forgive yourself. The dreamsmith gestures for you to approach. In their hands is a bowl. Inside, fragments of your day. That awkward moment you replayed 12 times. The laugh you shared and forgot too soon. A goal you didn't meet, but tried. A kindness you offered without being thanked. The dreamsmith drops each fragment into a basin of light. They hiss softly, dissolving into gold. This is dream alchemy, turning lead into feather, effort into release. You are invited to add one more piece. So you do. You place something in the bowl. It's a small shape, maybe a thought, maybe a feeling, maybe a fear. The dreamsmith holds your gaze as it's added to the mix. There is no judgment here, only transformation. They stir the basin with a long crystal wand. Colors swirl: violet, teal, honey, amber. From it, they pour a liquid into a mold shaped like you, a soft version, rested, centered, safe. From the mold, a dream emerges. It takes the form of a glowing orb. Inside, a meadow, a song, a moment of peace, a childlike joy wrapped in adult-level relief. The dreamsmith tucks it gently into your chest. You don't feel it enter. You feel it return, as if it was always meant to be there. They hand you a scroll. It unrolls on its own. It reads, "You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to dream gently. You are allowed to be, without fixing anything first." The scroll melts into a feather. It floats, drifts, disappears. You smile. Behind the dreamsmith, a set of ancient doors creaks open. Cool night air flows through. You step through and find yourself at the top of a gently spiraling ramp. Yes, another one, but this one is different. It doesn't go down. It goes deeper inward, toward the final stillness. As you glide along the spiral, you begin to hear faint echoes, your own voice, but gentler, more trusting, repeating quiet affirmations that the dreamsmith etched into your heart. I am safe. I am enough. I am here. I can let go now. They echo not just in your ears, but in your bones. You feel them inside your spine, like a lullaby humming in your marrow. Halfway down the ramp, you pass a table. Laid out are the tools of ancient sleepers. A Viking dream talisman, carved from bone, meant to bring clarity. An Egyptian eye amulet, placed under pillows to block nightmares. A scroll from a Buddhist monk's dream journal, gently inscribed in gold. Historians still argue whether these tools truly guided dreams or simply gave the sleeper permission to let go. But you don't need to decide. You simply honor them and continue in you. You are close now. Your body is no longer separate from your breath. You have become the breath, the thought, the stillness. At the base of the spiral, a bed awaits. Not a physical bed, more like a feeling. The sense of lying down in total surrender, of knowing nothing more is needed, that every system has powered down, that your brain has handed the wheel to your soul, and your soul said, finally. You lie down, not onto sheets, but onto a soft current of twilight wind. It carries you effortlessly. Somewhere above, the dreamsmith nods once, and the lights dim, gently, perfectly. You don't have to try anymore. You don't have to think. You just have to rest. And here, in this place, you do. And now, everything softens. The lights fade to gentle gray. The air grows heavier, not in burden, but in comfort. Like a weighted blanket pulled by the sky itself. Your breath slows, and with every exhale, you melt a little more into the moment. The garden, the sea, the dreamsmith, they all drift into the distance. Not gone, just stored, safe inside your subconscious, ready to be visited again. There is no more next, no decision to make, no action to take. Just this stillness, this warmth, this you. Even time has stepped back. There is no late, no early, only now. And now is the perfect time to sleep. Let your limbs grow heavier. your thoughts float farther. Let the hush within you rise like morning fog. You are safe. You are held. You are not behind, not broken, not alone. You are exactly where restoration begins. Whatever the world asked of you today, it can wait. Whatever didn't get finished was never meant to be finished tonight. Because tonight is not for fixing, detests for dreaming, for returning, for healing in the quietest ways. So rest now, deeper, softer, longer. And when your dreams arrive, let them be kind. Let them remind you that inside you there's a place where peace lives. You've been there tonight, and you can always come back. Good night and sweet dreams.